Thank you for joining us for this month's National Economic Outlook, written by Local Market Monitors founder Ingo Windsor. Ingo is a graduate of MIT and Boston University, and he's not your typical economist. He has a knack for presenting complex facts in an easily understandable way. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to Ingo.
Thank you very much, Julie. Every month, we look at the latest data to see what they can tell us about the economy and about real estate markets, where they are now and where they may be headed. You make better investments when you have a better idea of the forces that affect supply and demand. This month, this month, not much has changed from last month. The stock market may be at record highs, but the economy continues to slow. As far as real estate markets are concerned, jobs are the most important measure of how the economy is doing because jobs mean demand for housing. Reports in the press always focus on the change in jobs from last month to this month, and that's what we see here. In July, there were 23,000 fewer jobs than in June. But looking at jobs in this way isn't very enlightening. The ups and downs seem almost meaningless. Maybe artificial intelligence can make sense of this, but I can't. That's why it's better to look at the same numbers this way. Here we see the percent increase in jobs every month compared to the same month of the previous year. The trend has been downward, and despite some recovery in recent months, job growth remains very close to zero. That's partly because the U.S. population is no longer growing, which has never happened before. If the number of consumers doesn't grow, how can businesses grow? So let's see what's happening in the major sectors of the economy. It looks like the drain of jobs in the manufacturing sector may soon be over. Manufacturing is no longer a large part of the economy, but every little bit helps. The loss of jobs in residential construction continues, a marker of poor demand for housing. But more jobs have been added to build AI data centers. After a small uptick in recent months, the number of jobs in retail is again flat. And the growth of jobs at restaurants seem to have settled in at about a 1% annual rate. In the large business services sector, there's finally an increase in jobs, mainly because of more hiring by consulting companies. The small but very important finance sector is cutting jobs at an increasing rate, mainly at commercial banks, insurance companies, and insurance agencies. This may be due to more use of artificial intelligence, but also because many of these businesses depend on a steady flow of new customers, and there aren't many of those. Hiring in the big healthcare sector continues to prop up the economy. Any slowing of growth in this sector will put overall job growth into the red. But an economy that depends on more and more healthcare spending doesn't have a good long-term future. Large numbers of jobs have been lost at the federal government. And job losses continue at the state level. But the more worrisome development is the rapid decrease of hiring at the local level, which is where most government jobs are found. If local governments actually start cutting jobs, the national economy will be in serious trouble. Finally, two more reasons to worry. There's little chance that oil prices will come down. And there's no evidence of recovery in the real estate market. Later this month, we'll get new information about home prices, which will tell us a lot more. That's it. In this time of uncertainty, it's important for bankers and investors to stay on top of local economic and real estate developments. Local Market Monitor provides the data and analysis they need with local market data and investors' metro analysis. Thanks very much for following along. This is our National Economic Outlook. I'm Ingo Windsor.